Welcome to Financial Repression Authority's Roundtable Insight, where the best fund managers, economists, and industry leaders discuss the key investment issues and challenges in the current macroeconomic environment.
Hi, welcome to FRA's Roundtable Insight. This is host Richard Bernoulli. Today is Thursday, October 9th. We have Judd Hirschberg back on the program show. Judd is president at White Wave Trading Strategies, a trading company. He's run various proprietary trading groups and has over 50 years of trading experience. He's developed awesome indicators and a repeatable process-based approach for trading the financial markets. Prior podcasts with Judd have focused on his approach and methodology, and also we've done updates on the financial markets. Today, we'd like to understand what Judd is currently seeing in the financial markets across asset classes and jurisdictions. Welcome, Judd.
Thank you, Richard. It's always a pleasure to be back.
Great. Let's, wherever you'd like to begin.
Well, I guess it's the metals, right?
Sure.
So let me get to my right page here. Let me just squeeze this up a little bit. We'll go through gold, then we'll go through silver.
Yeah.
I've had a target forever, just over 4,300 in gold. And this is basically that I think we've touched on it before, but this is an exponential swing from 1969 from $34.90 to the 880 high in 1980. And we've been pretty much following this all the way up. So, I have higher targets than the gold. The metals are kind of funky, but as to which one leads on what day. And today, recently, again, it's been the silver. Hold on, I have a couple too many of these things in here. Where did it go? All right, well, there it is. Here's the dollars. Sorry about that.
Yeah, silver, yep.
All right, so this morning it was interesting, and this is a big thing. This is a 5-decade event that just happened in the silver. All right, this is the wrong chart. That's an active chart. You have to go to a daily continuation chart because everybody looks at the wrong numbers. All right, so this morning, the cash silver went up and got 50-year buy stops above 50.36 in the cash. I was expecting to see the futures elect those stops, and the futures stopped right at $50 at 49.96 and a half, and then sold off for a couple of bucks. So now the question is this the high, or is this going to go exponential? And you don't know. It's a place where a lot of guys, excuse me, that are in my trading room, locked in a lot of money up here. Been long the silver for the last silver buys were at $28. So a lot of people hedged their money or took a lot of their silver off. The gold and the platinum all went into big areas. So it's always a matter of which one's leading and how it's leading.
So no indication of potential higher numbers like you have for gold?
Oh, it's $63.
Oh, okay.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's the first stop.
Wow.
So if you get a weekly close over these buy stops, it's going to $63. Now let's just take a look at the platinum. The platinum, is still holding up.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting chart is platinum yen. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay. Notice, I'm going back into the 70s
Okay.
with this.
Yeah.
All right, there's the 1980 high in platinum. So the first time we went up, the platinum yen went above this high, held it. We've gone to where the buy stops are.
Mhm.
So the spread's got the buy stops. Now, if we can close a weekly close above here, it's going to go again. So how does it move? Is that the yen breaking and platinum sitting here? Let's just, some of that's a function of yen.
Yeah.
And the yen could easily go back to 157.21, which is unchanged on the year. If it starts closing, over 157.21,
Mhm.
then I would say you're looking for the 170s.
Wow.
So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to see how it's going to move at this point.
That could be likely with the new prime minister, I think, there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it started weakening with her and
Yeah.
really hasn't stopped.
Wow.
And when you get to, just the general currencies, all of them, again, that's a 2-year average in the euro at 119 and stopped at the quarterly cloud. That was the end of it. I've been talking about this for the last few months. And now the story's starting to change again. The euro can come down. I'm not really willing to pick the next low because the euro can come down 5% from here to be nothing. You see it in some of the other currencies as well. I mean, you see it in the pounds. Aussie's trying to hold up in here. And the one chart I always keep an eye on for the metals is Swiss yen.
What's that indicating at the moment?
Well, it's soft. So it put in a high yesterday and it's correcting.
Mm.
So this doesn't have to be in total lockstep with the metals, but when I see something like that, an extreme, and then today, the silver put in the higher highs, this can back off a bit.
Yeah.
But this has been in a massive uptrend for 3 years. I mean, the breakout was here at 150, or no, the second breakout was above 150, and then it went. So that breakout targeted the low 170s, and then it started going again with the metals trade. So it's just something I try to look for a currency that's lining up with it.
Yeah. And what about like cross currencies, looking at Asian currencies relative to the US dollar or even emerging markets, Latin America? Are they showing signs of strengthening, like long term?
Well, the yuan is that's Aussie yuan, so that's kind of stuck. What's interesting to me is that the Mexican peso is gaining big time. So that's manufacturing south of the border, bringing that stuff into the United States, right?
Yeah.
So that's a cross that interests me. The Indonesian rupee, not really doing much. The Indian rupee has been in devaluation mode. The Sing dollar tried to strengthen, and now it just kind of stopped down here
Oh,
at
yeah.
this where it started weakening from in 2014. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. And a lot of times I'll just look at the currencies just to see if they're lining up with the stock market or the metals to try
Mhm.
to see where the demand's coming from. Even the Korean yuan is weakening. And there's your friend's favorite
But
chart.
is this
Gone.
just, you see this as just a short-term thing relative to the US dollar and then resumption of strengthening relative to the US dollar?
That's not my expertise. And I don't
Okay.
have the
Yeah.
vision fundamentally to see out like that.
I say.
That's Ira's deal. That's not me.
Any sign technically though, that's,
Technically, I just think it's in a sideways to lower range.
yeah,
And I'm not crazy about the fact that it's back down here at this 115.5, 116 area, because if it starts eating through there, then I think it just goes back towards 110 again. And the euro loses another 4 or 5 figures to the dollar.
mhm,
And that, I think, will help the metals.
yeah,
So there's no real sign that the gold, yuan gold, yen gold, and euros, they're all overextended, but they're not really backing off.
any thoughts on the cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, I want to buy a break in
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin again.
Yeah.
And I want to buy it back at 17 in the mid to high 117s.
Okay,
Can it go a little bit lower than that? Yeah, hold on. Let me give you the right chart. So it could do that. And on that front, let's see.
yeah, any medium or long-term targets like?
Well, I've got a 139,000 target
Okay,
that I posted a while ago in
Yeah.
Bitcoin. So again, with all this stuff, it's which one's in favor and when does it go?
mhm,
They trapped everybody at the end of last month, and at the last 2 months, it had broken, and I think that's more reflective of what was going on with the what happened in all these crypto companies and how they had to manage the risk at month end.
yeah.
And then it gets sold out. There's nobody to buy the hedges, and then boom, it's up and going.
Does the chart look similar for Ethereum or different?
Yeah, here. Yeah, Ethereum basically did the same thing. Now, every time Ethereum's put one of these tops in, we've had a decent sell-off. But Ethereum starts taking out today's low, it's going to come all the way back down into here again, probably, and challenge this gap closer to 4,000 again.
Mhm.
So everything, from the silver ran everything this morning, and those stops. So it gets back to the question is how big of a high is that? And what's the next sell-off? Where does it hold? I mean, it's not a place where you can just buy them. I mean, I've been long the gold, silver, and platinum. I have trailing stops in lower. And if I have to give back $200 in the gold or $3 in the silver, that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
But I'm having a hard time chasing it back and forth. And I have such a big lead that every time I think I want to sell it out, it goes higher.
Yeah.
And then you're chasing it again
Yeah,
at the
then you're
upside, and I don't want to
chasing.
do that.
Right.
So that's up to every individual trader and
Yeah.
investor,
Yeah.
how they want to, trade it, I guess.
Right. And there used to be like a correlation, it would seem, between Bitcoin or the cryptos and like the NASDAQ. Is that still the case, or thoughts on the NASDAQ and correlation with the cryptos? Yeah.
Well, so this is the same thing. That's that same day where you got a stranded close, or it was long NASDAQ, a short Bitcoin, and then the whole thing reversed.
Mm.
Now it's back, it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you know, I can use it for short-term trading, but I'm not gonna look at it for longer term stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to match up or define an area to try to get some trade location off of, fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the biggest, you know, there's long NASDAQ, short Swiss francs. That's not bearish equities.
And speaking of the indices, so we see the NASDAQ. Any thoughts if we look at like S&P or SPOO bonds?
Okay. Give it to me. All right, hold on. My S&P bond spreads have a lot farther to go. I don't know why that. Here, you got to look at it. Come on. There we go. You have to look at it from 1982 off the pit. Because it goes back to 82. So the short-term swing is higher. I mean, this is higher on the quarter. There's no reason to think that this is going to back off. And basically, it's just this April sell-off is what you're looking at for short-term, you know, targets. So there's more there. Here's gold. Here's gold, cash, S&Ps. Let that build for a second.
Yeah, this would be interesting. Like,
You know, this is, you know, it hit a little resistance here on the yearly, but this can go a lot farther.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, this is unchanged on the year right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I was looking at it. You know, I've been writing for the last couple of months that, you know, I was looking at continued strength in gold versus the S&P. And so I really wasn't focusing on the S&P at all because it was only, you know, the chips that were going.
Yeah.
And cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can take a look at whatever else you want. But, you know, when you look at this on a monthly, you know, your risk is the low of the month in this. And that can go a long way.
Yeah, that has potential to go a long way. Yeah.
Gold, silver, you don't get much. Here, gold bonds, just so you can see this. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Hold on. You want to use the pit. You want to use the pit bonds because they go back to 72 versus 98. So you can see you're coming up to almost a 50% area up here, extension, which kind of matches up with the corrective nature of what you're seeing in the gold right now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. And that's, you know, Ethereum versus Bitcoin bonds. The one, you know, in the currency land, the one that's looking interesting is Euro yen. Because above 170, you know, this is a pretty good breakout. And when you look at this, it's got a long ways to go. I mean, it can easily go to 200. It's a 25-figure move. So I want to see if it sustains up here.
Yeah.
Above 175. And right now, you know, it's having a bit of a sell-off, so it's not. Well, here it is. Yeah, 176. It's got to hold, for me, I want to see it hold 175. If it holds above 175, you can stay positive. And as far as, let's see, where did I put this stuff? I like, the copper miners broke out. The miners have to hold above 62.94. As long as they stay above 62.94, I'm looking for a really big move there.
Wow.
The copper itself.
Yeah, copper itself.
This is, Mr. Wonderful's tariff deal.
Okay. Yeah.
So now,
Right.
It bottomed a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday, and now it's coming back up and trying to fill the gap all the way
Oh,
up.
yeah. Wow.
So as long as it's above basically 510 right now, it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even though there's a 50% tariff on the copper, there still is a lot of it comes from Latin America, where I don't think they apply the tariff, right? I think between the Latin American countries, so it might not mean anything.
Well, Freeport did the same thing with this. It just fell apart off those natural disasters.
Yeah.
And and that was the one that gave you all the juice back up into here. So that trades over a little bit from now. That's got to set up again.
Similar to Southern Copper Corporation.
Southern Copper looks,
wow.
This is trying to back off. So it was, you got everybody buying the copper this morning and selling the miners.
Mm.
This could come back a little bit.
Interesting.
The one name that's interesting, and it's not in the copper and miners, it's in the financials. Which is JP Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a stranded quarterly close.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It gapped down. So I've been kind of watching that to see if it's going to really do anything.
That's a long term. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's one way and all this stuff. So,
yeah.
If things start to unravel, they can unravel, but you're trying to find the one. You go back to a weekly and it's holding. So the question is, how far does it come down before it goes back up there and lets everybody out?
Yeah. And just coming back to the miners, have you taken a look at Sibanye Stillwater, SB, SW, mostly a focus on the PGM metals?
Just put that.
But they have some gold exposure, also rhodium, I think.
I got, sorry about that, but I built out 3 charts. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
3. So Sibanye, acts just like the rest of the metals. It's in profit-taking mode, and that could come down to and a bunch of guys have been long that in the room.
Yeah.
And that could come down $1.
Yeah. Had a good run though since.
Great run, but I don't want to be the first one to buy it here.
Yeah.
You got to wait a couple of days to see how the metals are going to play out. Otherwise, you're buying a monster rally. They could have a pretty good correction.
Yeah.
So it's a better spot to, if you wanted to buy some downside protection.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones too is Coeur d'Alene, which some of the guys have been long that, and that's the same thing. That was pretty poked out this morning, and it opened up on its highs, and a lot of guys, when I was talking about the silver at a 5-decade running 5-decade stops in the cash, a lot of people took money all the way across the board.
Any difference between the miners and the royalty streamers like Wheaton Precious Metals or Franco-Nevada?
Franco-Nevada's already corrected. It's right down to its balance line. So if it starts, sustaining below 205, then you'll get another 5% break. What was the other one you wanted to look at?
Wheat and precious metals like WPM, I think.
So the Wheaton, yeah, same thing. That got a little toppy last Wednesday. Another Wednesday high. I'm not in any hurry to buy this one. I want to see where it settles out.
Yeah.
What else we got here?
I guess related to these like jurisdictions with the emerging markets, any thoughts on maybe Latin America, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina? Those.
Yeah, I put them all in here. Here's Argentina. Argentina looked like a bottom yesterday.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I saw Cressy up 7% this morning.
And again, this is this is the one that puked and it's down the most. So you like to buy it at the bottom of those turns and see if it turns into something. And it's right down at the bottom. It's at the monthly momentum, quarterly momentum.
Yeah.
So you have where you're wrong. Let's put it that way. If it takes those levels out, you're dead wrong.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at the real.
In Brazil.
Here's another one-day wonder.
Yeah.
It's just weakened in a momentum. You got to see another day if this is going to continue. Brazil, I don't know what to do with that.
Okay.
Mexico, they've taken that thing both ways already. It's got a really big top, on October 1st.
Yeah.
And you can't rule it out coming all the way back down into here into another $2-3. So some of this stuff, when it gets to these levels, what people miss is that it takes 2 or 3 days for a market to start turning. And everybody wants to pick it on the first day. That's why I haven't totally blown out my metals. A lot of guys did.
Yeah.
They've been getting out all week.
I see.
And I'm trying to be a little bit longer term with it, which is unusual for me. And we'll see how much I have to give back here.
I see. Colombia, did you have anything? COLO. 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 Yeah.
What was Colombia's?
COLO. COLO. Yeah.
There it is. And that's just pausing here too. I mean, that's had a pretty big move. It can go a little higher.
Okay.
In the quarterly resistance is $36. Shorter term, let's take a look. It's just going sideways.
Okay.
I looked at Vietnam was the one that looked good.
Yeah, let's take a look at Asia. Vietnam, Hong Kong.
Vietnam is the one. I don't like looking at these ETFs on the dailies because it's just.
Yeah.
They don't trade 24 hours.
Yeah.
But the target in Vietnam is 1987. So you got another $1.
Okay.
I put the Shanghai comp in here. So
yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah, Shanghai comp.
Shanghai, yeah.
As long as it stays higher on the quarter, it's okay.
Wow.
China doesn't look as good though. The FXI is lower on the quarter, so that's struggling a little bit here.
And Hong Kong?
What's that? EWH?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got a 2-year average here that it's struggling with to stay above. So I think if it starts taking up this week's low at 21.40, then it's going to sell off a little bit.
I see.
Let's see what, and that's another one. It's already done its move on the monthly on the cloud. And it has to stay right here above the 50 quarter average, where that's going to roll right back down.
Okay.
Yeah, 21.40 is your alert to pay attention in Hong Kong.
I see. Maybe Singapore, Malaysia, in Indonesia. I think you had something, right? Indonesia.
Right, so let's see.
Yeah.
I looked at the Sing dollar. It's not doing much. What was the symbol for S? It's a Singapore ETF.
S, yeah.
Again,
EWS.
this is rich in all this stuff.
I see. Yeah.
You're back up here
Yeah.
at the 07, July 07, 08, this 07 area up here.
Yeah.
Where it had a massive break from. So this is going to be big.
Yeah.
And until it starts closing above here, that could cap it too. So, it keeps getting, I keep getting back to this. Now they're flushing everybody in the silver. It's lower on the week now. So that could be a major high. And if that's it, I want to know, I'm trying to, I should have pulled the trigger earlier this morning to get out of my precious metals. And now I'll probably just have to dump them.
I see.
Because I don't like what the silver's doing. And the silver's running everything.
I see.
Here, let me just go look at down here to give you an idea. The silver just put in a reversal here. So, I mean, the really long-term stuff, you can go back down to $47 and hold. So it might, it could go another 70 cents or hold right here. You don't know.
Yeah.
Platinum starts getting much below 1670. That's going to break. You can see it here too. So what I do is I put up different, time frame looks on my point and figures.
Yeah.
Just to get a sense about, is it corrective or is there something else going on?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, this is the platinum. Let me go to the silver on that one. Well, that'll take a couple of minutes to build. Yeah, but see this reversal, that's below 4,700. That's below $47.25.
Yeah.
That puts in the reversal on this, and that means you sell the next big rally up.
I see.
Meet the Cedar Owl, a new economics and finance publication with a focus on environmentalism. We combine the Austrian School of Economics and market environmentalism principles for investing in a sustainable future. Follow the link in the description to get to know the Cedar Owl better, understand our values, our mission, exactly where we're coming from, and the type of content that we release on a cyclical basis every Thursday. Join us in targeting outperforming portfolio returns while making a positive impact on society and the environment through technology. Subscribe now for weekly insights, investment articles, and exclusive content.
What else have we been getting into here?
I was wondering on the U.S. agricultural commodities, are they showing any bearish nature given all the tariffs and the issues with the challenges with U.S. farmers, but on a global scale, is it possible to look at price of soybeans in Brazil or relative to U.S.? Yeah,
it's going to look pretty close. I mean, this is nowhere. And the beans aren't going anywhere. The corn is not going anywhere but sideways to lower.
Wow.
The wheat's definitely dead. And then,
Wow.
now he wants to put tariffs on Italian pasta.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100% tariffs on
Oh my
Italian
God.
pasta.
Oh my God.
So
Oh my
I can't get into that. It's just
Mhm.
crazy. And let's
Oh
get
my.
the farmers $10 billion that voted for him.
Oh yeah, there's I think a bailout. Yeah.
Yeah, another bailout.
Please.
So
Wow.
I want nothing to do with the wheat.
Hmm.
Anything to do with those grains.
Yeah. Right.
I have I can go to a different chart up here. Page where I have there's corn and real, wheat and real. They're not doing anything.
Mm.
Here's soy and yuan, corn and yuan, wheat and yuan. It's long beans, short real. That's nothing.
Okay.
And they're bigger, just bigger sideways patterns. All of them. There's beans and real. Can that rally a touch? Yeah, why not? But
this would be based on U.S. price of beans divided by Brazilian
this is
currency.
denominated beans in real.
Yeah. But is it from the Brazil exchange? Like if they have
I've got that
agricultural,
somewhere here too.
that would be interesting to look at if there's any
Right there.
difference. Okay.
And there's the FOC, the Santos beans. You have to look at a long-term chart now.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because otherwise you don't get any data.
That's interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. This movement.
And that's still nowhere.
A little bit. Yeah. Not much. Yeah.
So, then we come, then you come to the MAG 7. And when is that going to hit the fan?
Yeah. Any thoughts? Yeah.
What's going to happen here is the metals, the silver's going to affect crypto. Everybody's getting tossed out of this trade right now.
Okay.
It's going to affect crypto. And the question is, I'm looking for lower in the indices right now.
Okay.
And it would be healthy if you got a 120, 130 point break in the S&Ps.
I see. Yeah.
And
then the specific names like NVIDIA or Tesla.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Richard.
Any thoughts on specific names of the MAG 7?
Well, the only one, everybody's
NVIDIA.
sitting on their couch watching their money go away, and
okay,
Netflix.
And Netflix, okay. Yeah.
Google doesn't exactly look positive. Apple failed to make a new high.
Yeah.
And now it's rolling back down. If that gets lower on the year, the stops are all below 250 in Apple. If you see that, everything's going down. Because that's going to be the long-term trailing stop for everybody.
Yeah.
Taiwan Semi, that's consolidating. NVIDIA, that hit a big target.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's got to consolidate before I consider chasing that.
Yeah.
618
even. Yeah.
Let's see what and you can see it in the semis. The semis basically did that whole swing right up to its target line. That's a huge swing up into that 618. That's a multi-year deal.
Yeah. AMD's in there.
Yeah, let's see. Advanced Micro, this is where did I come up with that number? Yeah, it went up to a, here, let's go back to a daily. It went up here to a target area,
Oh,
and then
uh-huh.
this was the first one and came back down. Then it went up and made a higher high.
Oh, wow.
And I keep looking at this, and I look at the triple semi. So I think if the Soxel starts getting under 41.20, they're going to hit that again.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not really bullish anything. It's a matter of where you buy and sell stuff. And, right now, with just what you hear in the news, everybody's getting cautious.
Yeah. And I guess to end, what's your highest conviction trades at the moment?
Well, it's been the metals.
Yeah.
And now I'm right now, and it's been the metals since last April.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it might be over until February.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good. I think that's a huge blow off. And you don't often see a 5-decade number come into play and a rejection.
Yes.
So I would not, you have to protect yourself if you've been in the metals trade.
Right.
Because this is going to correct.
Yep.
I don't think it's over, but it's got to correct somewhere before it sets up again. And I still think at some point in time, you see the stops over $50 in the futures.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also Dr. Mark Farb was saying this till end of the year, sort of sideways consolidation type of behavior in the metals before it goes much higher. I think that's his latest podcast discussion.
Well, we saw the same thing in April, where it just ripped everybody's face off from April to August, bottomed again and took off.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody in the room caught that.
Mm.
So now the question should everybody be flat up here and wait for another trade?
Yeah.
Or just want to live through, people have 600 or some people have $1,500 in their gold.
Mm-hmm.
So, that goes back to what type of trader you are and what you can deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got a target in the upper 4,300s in the gold. I'm sure we'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
Question is, how far does it go down before it goes back up there?
Right.
And, that's what we try to do in the room every day, is sort that out.
Yeah. Yeah, and highly recommend the room. Viewers, listeners can get a trial subscription from your site, I think, if they go to your website. Yep.
Yeah, you go to whitewavetradingstrategies.com and just put your name and email in, and you get I've been writing once a day, and I put out a video if I think something's really going on. And we started around 7 a.m. Chicago time when the brain trust comes in and everybody kicks around. I've got some really experienced traders, guys that have been doing it 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
We discuss, the state of whether it's the indices, the metals, the bonds, everything.
Yeah, it's fascinating discussions. I learn a lot. Well, it's been great. Yeah, great discussion and insights, Judd. So yeah, if everybody can make a note of the website URL here and Judd's email address for contact information. Thank you so much, Judd.
Thanks again, Richard. I appreciate it.
The FRA Roundtable Insight Show is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as a solicitation or offer to purchase or sell any securities. The investments, investment strategies, and investment philosophies discussed or presented on the show each involve their own unique risk factors which are not discussed on the show. Any discussions among the panel participants or responses to listener inquiries are based on the personal opinions of the panel participants and do not take into consideration the listener's suitability, objectives, or risk tolerance. Please be advised that you invest or speculate at your own risk.